Hi there, it's Olga. Today I'm going to make a window card with lots of dimension. I'm going to start with a white A2 card base. I have also pre-cut a panel out of watercolor paper that is just a teeny tiny bit larger than my card base. The die I'll be using to create a shaped window is Susan's Silhouette by Memory Box. I'm positioning it closer to the right edge, taping it down, and then I'll run it through the die cutting machine. You can always find a list of supplies with the links to online stores in the description as well as on my blog. The next die I'll be using is Cubic Border by Memory Box. I'm positioning the die along the bottom of my future card, and then I'm going to partially die cut it. This way it won't cut all the way till the edge. To color the background, I'm going to use 3 shades of Distress Oxide inks. They are Fossilized Amber, Vintage Photo, and Walnut Stain. I have applied clear water all over the surface, and then I'm dropping in all 3 shades of Distress Oxide inks. And then I have to let them dry. If you apply water at both sides of the paper, it won't be curling up while you're coloring. Then I'm going to switch to Walnut Stain Distress ink and go all over the edges of the panel as well as over the edges of the shaped window. To give more interest to my panel, I'm going to use this background stamp by Memory Box and VersaFine Permanent Brown ink. Unfortunately, this stamp is now discontinued, but I will link up a couple of stamps that you can use instead. The background pattern is now ready, and I think it needs a little bit more texture, so I'm going to use this embossing folder. The next step is applying some ground espresso distress ink with my finger. This way the raised areas will get the most ink, and the areas just around the raised ones will get no ink at all, and this will help the pattern to really stand out. Then I'm adding more ground espresso distress ink around the window. Next, I'm going all over the edges of the panel with the paper distresser. Distressing the edges will kind of eat up some of the paper, and this is exactly why I made a panel a tiny bit smaller than the card base. Then I'm going to create some notches to add to the weathered look. Now I'm going to color the card base. I'm masking off the back side of this card base, and then I'm going to cover the entire front part of it with the tumbled glass distress ink. The next color I'm going to introduce is Faded Jeans. I'm inking up a lower part of the card base with it. This die set is called Birds in Flight. It's by Poppy Stamps. I'm going to stick all 3 birds behind the window, right on top of the card base with the liquid glue. I'm using Ranger Multi-Medium Matte. I have attached some strips of mounting tape to the wrong side of the panel, and then I'm going to stick it right to the card base. To create a sentiment, I'm going to use fired brick Distress Oxide ink. I'm applying it directly to a piece of cardstock. I'm using a heat tool to speed up the drying process. Those two dies are Beautiful Day and Thank You by Memory Box. Initially, I was planning to spell Beautiful You, but then I decided just to go with the word beautiful. And here is the tricky part. I've die cut the word beautiful one more time, and now I'm trimming it to leave just the last 4 letters. And I'm also trimming off the lower part of the letter F, as you can see. Now I'm going to glue this piece at the wrong side of the sentiment. And I'm going to stick down about 3 more pieces like that. Here is the result. We have several layers just on this part of the word. Now I'm sticking the sentiment on top of the panel. Additional layers allow me to position it evenly across the panel and across the window. Now it's time for some finishing touches. I'm applying glossy accents all over the red letters. Now I'm going to use my favorite medium, liquid enamel dots, to add some droplets all over the card base randomly. Then I'll have to let them dry for several hours. It is not recommended to use the heat tool with these enamel dots. It's better to let them air dry. And here is what my finished card looks like. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.